Welcome back. With us right now is Jim McAleer. He is the CEO of Alzheimer's Orange County, and they operate the South County Adult Day Services Program.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you again. So, tell us first about how Alzheimer's OC came about to run this fine program here. I know it's been, what, at the start of the year? A little bit end of last year, I think,
Actually, we've
right?
been involved for a little over a year.
Okay.
We just changed locations.
Right.
So, some time ago, Age Well and Dr. Marilyn Diddy, another nonprofit down here, who's been running this program successfully and beautifully for 30 plus years,
Yeah, exactly.
made a decision that they weren't sure it was a perfect fit for their future.
Right.
So we started talking about the fact that we were looking, Alzheimer's Orange County, to get more involved in direct services where we actually touch the lives directly every day.
Right.
I mean, we still have our 45 support groups. We trained 27,000 caregivers last year in how to care for somebody with dementia. But the day-to-day where you actually really get deeply involved in someone's life from a caregiving perspective,
Right.
we wanted to do that. So Age Well and Dr. Diddy were gracious enough to allow us to take this on. Since we took it on, we've moved locations,
Right.
built out the new building, and made a few other changes that we think and hope enhances the program.
And what people hear is the fact that Alzheimer's Orange County is overseeing this. Sometimes they think, oh, do you have to be someone with dementia or Alzheimer's to go into here?
That first question we get is, well, I don't
and of
have
course
dementia,
that's not true.
so I don't want to go there. Adult day health care provides all kinds of different therapies. And yes, some of the things that we can support are people who experience memory loss. But we have a lot of folks who have had a stroke and are in recovery, so our occupational and physical therapists can help with that. We have folks who have different other disabling conditions where their family, their physician, themselves feel like some support during the day with some clinical staff could help. We have an on-site nurse. Even our meals are developed by a nutritionist for folks who have gluten intolerance or diabetes or who...
That's right, yeah.
All kinds of different problems.
And this can be 1 day a week, 5 days a week. And that depends on, of course, what the individual needs, but also what that family needs, because they may have other forms of care at their home, but they can't do it every single day.
Right. And would you want them to?
Right.
So I'm fond of saying that if my child were the one to care for me as a senior, he would unplug my oxygen to plug in his iPhone. I don't need for him to provide my primary care.
Right, right.
So sometimes family members think that it's an obligation or because they so love the person who experiences a disease, they really would try and provide it themselves. What we provide is respite for both. So the person who has the disabling condition think they might want to get out of the house occasionally. They might want some of that social interaction. If you just look at the activities we provide, they get to experience music therapy, dance.
Right, yes.
They don't have to dance if they don't want to, they can watch it. But it's there.
Yes.
All of those different social interaction things. I have a group of guys that play poker 3 days a week, a number of people who appreciate the art programming. So there's something for the person who experiences a condition while their loved one is getting their hair done.
Yeah,
or taking a nap, or reading a book.
Yeah.
So it works on both sides. Very few people stay 5 days a week. Most come 1, 2, 3, depending on what they and their family decide that they need. Also informed by their doctor, of course, because their doctor's the one who's going to tell us what kind of physical and occupational therapy they need.
Right, exactly. And that is something that it's always provided, right? And you folks are continuing with that.
Absolutely. We think it's one of the vital, important parts of the program. The socialization aspect is key. The clinical aspect is key, and the overall umbrella caregiving for the caregiver is key. There are 3 of the essential elements. The fascinating thing about the Laguna Woods community, I mean, we're right next door to City Hall.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been by, the Olive Garden's on one side and City Hall's on the other. So we're right outside the gates. And the Laguna Woods Foundation has been incredibly generous about providing scholarship funds. So if it's not completely covered by someone's insurance or private pay is just a little too much, the foundation has allowed us to provide a lot of support to a lot of families, and we have, more support available.
Let me ask you something along those lines. And back when AgeWell was doing this, we asked kind of the same question, because people sometimes get a little confused between, especially back then, between something like the senior center down the road and what you folks provide. The senior center is, of course, something that anybody can just walk in, sign up for an activity or whatever there is. But there's a difference with the adult day services. So explain how that works compared to just a general senior center or something like that.
Sure, there's some brilliant programs at Florence Sylvester Senior Center, for example, but think of it as a drop-in center.
Right.
You get up in the morning, you decide, you know what, I think I'm going to go to that yoga class, or I'm going to go sit with some of my friends and play cards.
Right.
And you drop in, and when you're ready, you leave or are picked up. Our program, there is a screening. You would come in, and the nurse would meet with you. Our social worker would come to your home, probably, to start this process. It's a bit more elaborate to get hooked up and connected. Less of a drop-in center, more of an intentional, we are now going to do this program 1, 2, 3 days a week.
Okay.
And while you're not committed to that, the getting into the program is a little more involved than just a drop-in center.
Right.
But then the services are quite a bit more involved.
Right, exactly.
Right, so you want the medical workup so the physical therapist knows what the issues are that she's dealing with. Florence Sylvester does wonderful work to help people stay independent through their exercise programs, their social programs, but they don't provide clinical therapies as we do.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that up because even though you're as far as the folks who run each area are different now, it's a question that's often brought up because they think they're one and the same, which they are not. What about people who do come to the adult day services? Do they need a medical referral? How does that work? Insurance programs cover this? Explain that.
So it depends on the individual.
Okay.
Most of our folks do have a medical referral. Most of our folks did have their doctor recommend them. However, if the person is interested, that's an easy thing for us to arrange.
Okay.
For our social workers to make that call for them. We also have folks who pay privately who choose not to go through a medical referral. To get the physical and occupational therapy pieces, we have to be talking to the person's doctor because we want to do it in the whole context of their care rather than in an island. But it's really up to the family as far as how that works. What pays for it? We have contracts with Kaiser. We have contracts with quite a few with actually CalOptima and OneCare. It really is a social worker sitting down with the family and saying, let's talk.
Okay.
Let's see how we can make this work. And with the scholarship funds from the foundation, there are very few barriers if someone's insurance is not a match for us. If you live in Laguna Woods, chances are quite good that we can help you. Okay,
that's good news. Now, as far as folks getting there, do you provide transportation at the time?
Actually, we do it with Age Well. Our former partners, Age Well, has a magnificent transportation program. And it's a combination of Orange County Transit Authority and Age Well, but yes, we pick up and drop off. We have some folks who choose to have transportation provided by their family.
Right.
For the most, we'll provide it for them. The same's true for meals. We provide a light breakfast, but a very hot nutrition, well, not very hot, we don't want to burn anybody, but we have a nutritious lunch that's designed to match your dietetic needs. So, and it's actually pretty good.
Very good. Now, you also have something called the respite program. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So we realize that not everybody is quite ready, either physically or emotionally, for adult day health care. I mean, it sounds so onerous. The reality is what it is. It's a wonderful place to go during the day to get a little clinical stuff on the side and some other fun social entertainment. But if you're not ready for that 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, the respite program is a way to sign up and come in for 2 hours, 4 hours on your schedule and with your needs. It's particularly useful for folks who are at that place where I don't really feel comfortable leaving my spouse home alone while I go to the grocery store, but I don't think I'm really ready or they're ready for a full program. So you can sign up for the respite program and arrange to come by for 2 hours, 4 hours on your schedule and with your needs. We do ask for 24 hours notice, and you do have to do some paperwork and some screening to make sure we can care for you appropriately.
Okay.
Again, I'm in love with the Laguna Woods Foundation because they have actually provided some scholarship funds for that as well. Our fees range anywhere from $12 to $16. And if you look at the cost of in-home care, that's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
But if it is a barrier, if those funds are a barrier, we do have some scholarship funds available from the foundation, and we'd love to have folks knock on our door. What's been funny, when folks come and screen in for that intermittent respite program, almost half decide they'd rather have the full day daycare, because once they get in there and see what it is, it's like, well, this is actually something I might want a little more
And
of.
how long is the full day? Is it 8 hours, 6 hours?
Completely up to you.
Okay.
The average is probably about 6 hours. We're open from 8:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon, and can do a little longer than that. We're playing with the idea of night and weekend hours. We're just not quite ready yet. We want to get a little more of the respite program up and live and running.
Okay. One other question, and this goes back that when Agewell saw this, or was overseeing this, is that they talked about sometimes the need for volunteers or people, as you know, in this community here. We have the Sunshine Performance Group that performs there. Do you still look for people like that? Yeah, she is.
She actually performs with us.
Oh,
They come and perform at
they
the
do.
center.
Yeah, on Fridays, right?
It is on Fridays.
Yeah.
We have probably 12 to 14 clubs from Laguna Woods that come and do some level of activity. It can be gardening, it can be art. We actually have a Balinese dance group that
nice.
they
so
quite
you do
enjoy.
Look for people to come in and help out or entertain? Or
Entertainment, yes. We also, we desperately need volunteers to help with the hands-on, one-on-one. We could never afford enough staffing for every single person to have one companion care. A lot of our individuals really appreciate and enjoy when someone sits and just talks to them.
Right.
And shares stories from their childhood or where they're from, or plays poker.
Right.
Actually, we have one lady who particularly appreciates blackjack, and I don't have anybody who knows how to deal at the moment. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Volunteers can come in tremendously handy.
Very good. I want to give folks the number. It's 949-855-9444. Or if you want to go online, you would go to the Alzheimer's Orange County website, which is alzoc.org. You can find out information there. It's right down the street.
And feel free to stick your head in the door and ask for a form or brochure, and they'll be happy to give it to you there.
All right, Jim, always good to see you.
You
Take
too.
care. Hope
Thank
we'll
you so
see you
much.
again soon, and we'll be right back. Very good.